This is sub-Saharan Africa, the region of Africa that lies south of the Sahara. It includes Central Africa, East Africa, Southern Africa, and West Africa. The region has 30% of the Earth's mineral resource reserves, which include vast deposits of oil, uranium ore, gold, and diamonds. But a closer look reveals that it is, by far, the poorest region on Earth. In the tumultuous journey of African history, the painful echoes of slavery reverberated across time, tearing apart communities and ravaging societies. After gaining independence from European powers, the continent entered a turbulent era marked by dictators who tightened their grip on power, stifling opposition and suppressing dissenting voices. As a result, the land witnessed various conflicts in the last 50 years, ranging from the Nigerian Civil War to the Rwandan genocide and the recent civil war in Sudan. It is not surprising that sub-Saharan countries have experienced poor economic growth rates over the years. The World Bank predicts that by 2030, 62% of the world's very poor people will live in resource-rich sub-Saharan countries, up from 12% in 2000. Effectively managing its resources is crucial for the future of Africa. The world has a high demand for Africa's hydrocarbons, and its minerals are essential for cleaner energy. Sadly, many African politicians risk wasting this opportunity by failing to implement the right policies. However, one African country has been an extraordinary exception: Botswana. Botswana today is the world's second largest producer of gem diamonds, and is the world's fastest growing economy, with an average annual growth rate of about 5% over the past decade. It is one of the handful of upper middle income countries in sub-Saharan Africa, with the GDP per capita recently estimated at over $19,300. This places it ahead of the fastest emerging economies like Brazil, South Africa, Indonesia, and India. Over the next 4 decades, its economic growth rate rivaled that of China, Singapore, and South Korea, and today it is one of the richest countries in Africa. Botswana has a high level of economic freedom compared to other African countries, and in the most recent Transparency International Corruption Perception Index, it was ranked as the least corrupt country in Africa, posting far better scores than Russia, Italy, and China. At independence in 1966, Botswana was one of the poorest countries in the world, with only 12 kilometers of paved roads in the entire country. There were no hospitals or universities, and the majority of its population was illiterate, with only 22 people having attended university. The country's GDP per capita was half the average in sub-Saharan Africa. However, today, Botswana has the highest average income on the African mainland, and stands as Africa's longest-running multi-party democracy. It is also renowned as one of the most tolerant and peaceful countries in Africa. So, how did this even happen? How is the Botswana economy drastically better than its neighbours? And most importantly, is this miraculous growth sustainable in the long run? Botswana is a landlocked country, roughly the size of France. It is bordered to the south by the Republic of South Africa, to the west and north by Namibia, and to the east by Zimbabwe. In the late 1800s, Britain was becoming a powerful colonial force in southern Africa, strengthening its military and economic presence. Meanwhile, Dutch settlers known as Afrikaners, or Boers, and German settlers in Namibia, then southwest Africa, were expanding their territories, encroaching upon Botswana lands. In 1870, 3 traditional leaders from Botswana expressed their concerns to the British government about the potential annexation of their lands by the Dutch and German settlers. With the support of local British organisations and individuals, their efforts to seek protection were successful in 1885, leading to the establishment of the Bechuanaland Protectorate. Bechuanaland, known as Botswana today, was under British protection, but not direct colonial rule. This meant that the native patron rulers retained leadership, rather than being governed directly by the British Crown. This map shows the Crown colony of Bechuanaland, shaded in pink, and the Bechuanaland Protectorate, indicated by a pink border. After being a British protectorate for 80 years, Bechuanaland achieved self-government in 1965 under the leadership of Seretse Khama. He was the son of a paramount chief and a figure surrounded by controversy due to his interracial marriage. Khama played a pivotal role in leading the independence movement and guiding Botswana's transition from British rule to an independent nation. In 1962, Khama founded the Botswana Democratic Party and later became the Prime Minister in 1965. Finally, in 1966, Botswana gained its independence, and Khama was elected as the country's first president. Khama was a visionary leader who embarked on what would ultimately be recognised as one of the most remarkable economic transformation programs in modern African history. His plan for Botswana's transformation revolved around harnessing the country's three primary resources: cattle, copper, and diamonds. While many other newly independent African governments faced challenges, as these resources became more of a curse than a blessing due to issues such as greed, corruption, and tribal conflicts, Khama's administration took a different approach. They embraced free market-friendly policies to promote economic development. Khama pledged to maintain low and stable taxes for mining companies, facilitated liberalised trade, and worked towards enhancing personal freedoms. Between 1960 and 1990, Botswana had the fastest growing economy in the world. Not even the Asian tigers like Korea, Thailand, and Singapore exceeded Botswana's growth rates for 3 decades. This growth rate would have been impossible without diamonds. Back in 1967, De Beers, which was pretty much in control of diamond production around the world, made an incredible discovery: Orapa, the largest open-pit diamond mine in the world. Now, usually, when something like this happens in Africa, the opportunities are wasted. But not in Botswana. The leaders of Botswana back then were smart and made a great deal with De Beers, creating a productive partnership that benefited both sides. In Botswana, diamonds produced by Debswana, a 50-50 joint venture between Botswana's government and De Beers, account for 1/3 of the country's GDP, half of its public spending, and 3/4 of its foreign earnings. The government wisely utilised these revenues to heavily invest in expanding infrastructure, healthcare, and the education system, the fundamental pillars for human development. This strategic investment further propelled economic growth in the country. A well-planned and effective monetary and exchange rate policy plays a crucial role in Botswana's ability to manage inflation, money supply, exchange rates, and the regulation of financial institutions. One significant aspect of Botswana's monetary policy is the regulation of interest rates. An important focus of this policy is to set interest rates in a way that meets the needs of local businesses and supports overall economic growth. This requires finding the right balance between providing affordable credit to businesses and individuals, while also considering the potential impact on inflation and maintaining the stability of the financial system. All in all, according to the Economic Freedom of the World report, Botswana was one of Africa's most economically free countries. While many other nations embraced some form of socialism, Botswana was, broadly speaking, capitalist. Its fruitful relationship with De Beers, a giant mining corporation, is worth noting. But like many African countries, Botswana has struggled to diversify its economy. The unemployment rate in Botswana averaged 19.92% from 1991 until 2022, reaching an all-time high of 26.20% in 2008, and income equality among the worst in the world. Diamonds still account for over 80% of export revenues, unlike Rwanda, which has successfully diversified its economy, boasting thriving banks and business services firms. To address the issue of unemployment, new technologies and investments in a skilled workforce could potentially help by promoting diamond cutting and polishing within Botswana itself, rather than relying on India. Currently, more than 90% of the world's diamonds are cut and polished in India. Although Botswana is actively working to diversify its economy by shifting focus from mining minerals to mining knowledge, it's launched its new national e-commerce strategy, which puts e-commerce and the digital economy at the forefront of efforts to ensure the flow of digitalized content and information, goods, services, and data. The nation believes that embracing this approach will help foster the growth of a knowledge-based economy. The national e-commerce strategy is seen as a significant milestone in strengthening and diversifying the country's economy. It also aims to promote trade and support the growth of local businesses and entrepreneurs. Currently, Botswana is facing the prospect of its diamond deposits running out by 2030. Despite decades of discussion about diversifying the economy, little progress has been made. Efforts are being made to promote commercial farming and safari tourism, capitalizing on the country's expansive and wildlife-rich natural landscapes. But creating a diverse economy on a large scale in a country with a population of just 2 million will be challenging. There are concerns regarding the recent direction of Botswana under the leadership of former President Econ and current President Mokgweetsi Masisi. The country has shown signs of deviating from the principles that led to its previous success. Economic populism, protectionism, and instances of power abuse are beginning to emerge. Botswana's history serves as a reminder that prioritizing fundamental principles can yield long-lasting benefits. While diamonds, a significant part of Botswana's economy, may not last forever, the benefits of a sound policy can.